I was learning some more about site speed.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, David, tell us a little bit. So Google has, as you had predicted, given us more time on the whole rollout for what? The Core Web Vitals.
Right. So as of Monday, Google made an announcement about the Core Web Vitals that is not rolling out in May. It is now rolling out for some websites in mid-June, with the hope of all websites by August.
And I also went to the one you recommended, Jet Boost, or
Jetpack Boost.
Yeah, that is that you can't put it on your live site. They suggest you don't until they roll out the 1 point something. So I tried it on one of my staging sites, which is I got an error. So I had to, it's a common error, which was like error 500. It's out on the WordPress.org site. I'm sorry, David, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just remembered that when she mentioned speed, and I was like, yeah, I did try that last week. But you can't put it on they suggest that you do not put it on your live site yet.
So literally this morning I read that they released 1.0.
Oh, okay. Then I got to go back out there because
so double check me first, because I think you're right. You shouldn't put it on your live site until they're confident. And I thought I read this morning that they are confident and it's okay.
Remind me, it's Jetpack what? Boost?
Jetpack Boost or Jet Boost. Something I forgot.
I was confused. I when you said that, I was thinking of what's the other one, David?
Just crappy old Jetpack.
No, not Jetpack. The other one to help site speed.
You're right. They did.
WP Rocket.
No, the one everybody's using for Core Web Vitals. Something Pack, Nitro Pack.
Oh, I've not heard of this.
I never heard of that one either.
Y'all have? Okay, so well, before I tell you about it, like there's a lot of controversy. Some people love it and some people hate it, and I couldn't decide which really field side I'm on because I feel like I don't know enough about it. But after I went to a presentation Tuesday, I think that I am going to err on the side of not using it. And basically what it does is my understanding is, and Nitro Pack is the name, it will move all the scripts down so Google doesn't read them first. Does that make sense, David? Yes. That would speed it up. And so, but the problem some people have is when you do that, it could mess your site up. So it doesn't look right. So you have to really be careful. So that's the first one. And then also it's like $13 a month. If you do they have a free, but I don't recommend you doing this because it has a big banner across the bottom of your screen with their information. If you do it free, so don't do it free. But then I kind of look at it as like, well, $13 a month to have that. Maybe if I've got a gazillion websites, I would do it, but I almost think that like it's better to fix the problem. So that's where I fall, but I know a lot of people who love it and use it. So I need to go back through my website, and because the presentation on Tuesday was going through GT metrics and kind of how to read it and what to look at. So if this score looks like this, then check this. And one of the things that they mentioned was, like you were saying, caching, David, that a lot of people, they put caching things on their site, but they have too many and they conflict. So you think you've got caching set up, but you've got conflicting plugins caching, and then it's messing up. So it's really not caching and all that. And as you can tell, I really don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I had something like that happen to me too, because one of the plugins I didn't realize was a caching plugin, but it told me, it said I had conflicting plugins. So I just removed one.
Yeah.
And David, you are right.
Yeah, I am gonna definitely go back and look at my and I think for that, I think we talked about this a while ago, that GT Metrics has moved to a pro version and you can get a little bit from the regular, but I think for what we need to find out where the issues are is to go to the pro version. Possibly. I don't know. I haven't looked at it enough. I might be wrong because I'm thinking of more like when I look at it, it tells me desktop, but mobile is usually my problem. So I don't know. What's your thought?
Well,
Linda?
so first, there's a lot going on here. Number one, remember, Google is evaluating our mobile versions of our site exclusively. They are not looking at the desktop version anymore.
Right.
So we are typically looking at the mobile version of our site, and we're typically on broadband, and sites typically are fast. And so we ask ourselves, what's the real problem here? Google's not evaluating our websites based on the desktop. It's looking at the mobile version. So always remember that. 2, remember Google's ranking factors are going to be the 3 core web vitals.
Yes.
Not speed.
No.
Speed is an oversimplification of the core web vitals. And so if you get your website to run fast, you still could fail the core web vitals.
Yeah.
And so moving your scripts around and stuff like that will definitely improve your speed because it doesn't have to load, but it can also break your site. So there's Hummingbird, which is another WordPress plugin that does the same thing. It is WP Rocket is another WordPress plugin.
Yeah, I have WP Rocket, but
I like
don't know if
WP Rocket a lot.
I need to get it, and I don't remember what I did. If
It
I
is not
set it up
free.
on my new site. No, I have a paid version, but I don't remember if I set it up and how much I went through.
Right.
Like it starts asking you questions, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but there's lots of options like this that don't have to add a banner to the bottom of your site, which is unacceptable in my book.
Yeah. Well, and that's the free version. So for Nitro Pack.
Unacceptable. Don't give me
Yeah.
all the features, but that's terrible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, nope, that
No,
needs to.
that's a scumbag. Don't work with him. But let's not lose sight of the page experience issue we're trying to
Yes.
solve.
Yeah.
Yes, page speed is part of that, but it's not all of
all
it. That's why I'm very optimistic about the Jetpack Boost,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
it can take care of the other page experience things, and it's designed for the 3 experience things.
Okay.
So there's a new report in Google Search Console that is trying to reiterate this to us. I just added it to the weekly audit review process. So I know you're all looking at that process every week. It's updated. So you can now look and see. One of the things I'm recommending is always check that page speed experience, the page experience report in
Oh
Search
yeah, I
Console.
saw that in Google Analytics. Was that something new they added?
It's
remember
in
the
Search Console, not Analytics, but yes, yes,
What's
it's
it called
brand
now?
new.
Oh,
And
okay.
it tells you, are you passing the core web vitals? It shows you how. Oh, I have a client. This was great. Like, I think I've expressed to you that I have a client that I'm fighting engineers on a daily basis to get this fixed. There's a report that shows when they're paid, when they've got a good score, their impressions go up in Google. When they lose their good score, their impressions go down in Google. When they made a big improvement, their impressions went up in Google. It's like, see? I didn't say that. I said, look at all your good work and what it's doing, right? Because it is. They put this time and effort into the core web vitals, and Google's rewarding them for it before even this is released.
So tell me again what it's called. Is it experience?
Page experience, yeah.
Page experience. Okay, that's okay.
But it does other things too. It tells you about your mobile friendly score. It tells you that make sure everything's on HTTPS.
Mine doesn't. It says not enough data collected.
Yeah, that's what I got. I was embarrassed.
That's just because it's new, but give it some time.
Oh, okay.
Give it some time.
I was like, maybe I have enough traffic for it.
I know.
Yeah, well, it might be, but
data.
that's worth checking. So,
Okay.
but so don't get caught into arguments over page speed.
Yeah.
And Google's really wanting page experience, and they have been very, very specific on what good page experience looks like. And that's the three core web
Three
vitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's actually what on Tuesday when I was at that other thing they were talking about GT metrics, they were talking about all of them, not just page speed. And that's, I think, one of the things why the person was talking said he wasn't a fan of NitroPack, that was just only page speed. Because I've seen so many people talk about, oh, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. And I'm like, eh. So, okay.
Was that on the link that you were telling me? I mean, you
Yeah,
sent me?
and I told
Okay.
you it'll be posted on YouTube sometime in the next week or so, but I'm gonna go back through it and look at my notes because it kind of helps it, because I have a hard time with, I understand parts of GT metrics, but then there's some parts where I'm like, okay, I need more.
Yeah.
What's the next step once I see this? And so that's
Yeah.
what he kind of was looking at. So
Yeah, I haven't
and
checked since you sent it to me. I'll check again to see if it's up. But
it's
wasn't
not up
to
there
me.
because I think I've got one from last week that's probably going to be up today sometime. And then
Oh, okay.
after that one came later. So it might take a week or so to come up. So, but
Okay.
once I can see it's there, I'll let you know, because I want to go back and test it out on my page, just to go through and say, okay, this is what GT metric says. So, you know, do some change, you know, see what it says is not good. Because he was also showed like where you can go in GT metrics and where it says there's something about a cache. You pull up a screen and it'll say cache and it'll say hit, which is good, or it'll say miss, which is bad. So if it says miss, you need to fix something with your caching.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was like going, and then someone else pulled theirs up and they were like, and it had something else. It wasn't hit or miss, but it was something else. And he's like, so that's not pulling up correctly for your cache. So your caching is something's not right. So, and that's all in GT metrics. So that's a lot of stuff in GT metrics that I don't understand. I need to learn more about.
Yeah, and what I like about PageSpeed as something to work on is that regardless of your marketing efforts, PageSpeed is going to help. If you're focusing on social, so much of social media is consumed on mobile that speed is a factor. Ain't nobody's waiting for your how to do self-made spinners on Pinterest if your website's slow, right? But good, like, so that's worth your time, but let's not yeah, and we're trying to focus on data driving our resources, right? Where we're not just going and following rumors. We're using data to say, oh, this is worth our time and this is a priority. And hey, we only got so much time to do. So rather than follow rumors, we're using data to say, oh, this is a priority for us. And I think you're all doing that really well. And that's paying off for you because you're focusing on what's the most important thing. You know, are we getting new customers and how are we getting them? And let's double down on what's working and let's not be distracted by everybody's favorite plugin or whatever if it's not a priority.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is having too many plugins. Sometimes there's always a plugin for that, but is it good to have?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing to go out of date and get hacked.
Yeah.
One more thing to slow things down. One more extra instance of jQuery on your website that you don't need because someone is a crappy designer.